Oh, baby. We've never been this back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Command Show. My name is Grant Mitchell, and we're here to talk about Terry freaking McLaurin. The deal is done. The saga is over. Did the disrespect go too far? Is Buddy Baker the best agent in the NFL? Did Adam Peters fold? Is it a deal that works for everybody? I don't know. We don't have all the details yet, but what we do know, Terry McLaurin has signed a 3-year deal worth a maximum of $96 million per year with the Washington Commanders. That is a $32 million average annual value, making him the 6th highest paid receiver in the NFL, keeping him locked down in the nation's capital until 2028. If you factor in the final year of his current deal, which he's in the third of a 3-year extension, he's under contract for 4 years with an average value of about $30 million. Guys, right now, challenging you all, go to the comment section. I'm going to challenge you to give me one word to describe your thoughts. I know that's going to be difficult. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of think pieces about this contract, and those are more than welcome. Please put them down there. I want to see your reactions, instant reactions. Go, 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 go. I started this channel not just to share my opinions, but most importantly to get yours. And this has been the biggest news cycle piece coming out of Ashburn and DC throughout the entire offseason, and it's finally over. Terry McLaurin, 13 days until week 1 when the Commanders are hosting the Giants in Landover, Maryland. He will officially be ready to go. He was activated off of PUP. We know his ankle injury was a load of hullabaloo, and now he is finally going to be able to perform because he's got that deal that he has been after. So, again, let's jump into the numbers here. 3 years, $96 million. That is exactly what A.J. Brown is making. I think A.J. Brown's a little bit better of a player than Terry. He's also 1 year younger, but Terry signed the deal later than A.J. did, and we know how the market works. So those things ultimately balanced out. I'm recording this within 60 seconds of the news breaking. Not to give myself a pat on the back. I've been all over this, but I'm saying that because we don't know what the guarantees are, and that plays a huge role here in determining who won the battle. Obviously, the fans won, the team won, because Terry is back out there. But if you want to determine, did Adam Peters get punked? Did Terry wait too long? I don't know. We got to wait. We got to see what the incentives are, the guaranteed, the fully guaranteed. There's actually a difference between the two of them. But just to give you some numbers here. So Terry was holding firm on wanting the DK Metcalf contract, which was 4 years at $33 million average annual value. I don't think he actually wanted the 4 years. I think he was cool with 3 years. But DK got, $33 million for 4 years, and his total guarantees were $80 million. So if you were to do that for a 3-year deal, that would be $60 million in total guaranteed money. That's a lot different from A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's actually got more guaranteed money, period, and his deal is for 1 less year. He's got $84 million guaranteed on that $96 million deal. So I'm going to be very interested to see how much of this contract, this 96 possible for Terry, is actually guaranteed versus not guaranteed. So the players who are making more on an average annual value basis: Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Garrett Wilson, and then, like I said, he is tied with A.J. Brown. Just under that, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Tyreek Hill, Teagans, Jalen Waddle. Personally, I thought it was going to be more in the $28 to $30 million range. Good for Terry. That's what I'll say. He has taken a lot of criticism, and I think well-deserved, because I do think that he didn't represent himself as well as he possibly could at times throughout this entire process. But his agent has been told that he's out of his depth. Terry's been told that he's been getting bad advice. And again, we're going to have to see how this works out in terms of how is the cap structured, what are the guarantees, the fully guarantees. But to get the $32 million, that's what he was after, and he got it. So got to say, I've said throughout this entire process, the one thing I've always said is you are worth what you can negotiate. Don't say a player is asking for too much or too little. They are whatever they can achieve. And Terry got what he wanted. He wanted that DK Metcalf contract. He's just under it. He's at 32, wanted 33. He's right there with what his expectations were for the contract. So now this gets really interesting, because the 53-man roster cuts are due, as we know, in about 28 hours from now. 4 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday. Terry was obviously going to make the roster, but now you're actually getting the full picture of it. We've always penciled Terry in, but we've just kind of been scanning over him because we haven't known if he's going to be playing or not. Well, now we know he's available. So your week 1 roster, you have Jayden Daniels in the backfield with C-Rod and Bill next to him. You're going to have the offensive line with Connerly and Tunsil and Coleman, maybe Cosme. We'll see if he's available. You're going to have Terry on one side. Noah Brown was going full speed in warmups before the Ravens preseason game. You got Jalen Lane in the slot. You got Debo doing everything. The team is actually back in full force. I want to jump over it. I want to see what the Super Bowl odds are looking like right now because the Commanders had started to drop. Okay, they're back to where they were before the Terry stuff really started to break down. They're currently 20-1 to win the Super Bowl, which is about 7th in the NFL. And what about the week 1 spread here? What are we going to get for week 1? Because the Commanders, okay, they are still 6.5-point favorites, just like they were before. Guys, this is obviously the biggest news of the entire offseason, maybe in the NFL, because TJ Watt got a bigger deal, but I don't think it was ever really expected that he was going to leave. Yeah, I think this is the biggest story of the entire offseason. Again, go to the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts on all this are. As everything starts to settle in and we're able to sort of process and debrief what's going on, again, I think we have to keep in mind here that it's okay to be wrong. I know from what I saw in the comment section, a lot of us, myself included, thought Terry was asking for too much. He was going to get 27, 28, 29 million. It's okay to say, look, more power to Terry. He got what the team ultimately decided he was worth. Do I have questions about if that extra $2-3 million is that going to play a role in the future when you get to free agency in 2027 and when Jayden Daniels and Mike Sainristil's contracts come up? Sure, but that's a problem for a later date. The Commanders, they haven't had to give up significant draft capital recently. They haven't given out huge free agent contracts. They're allowed to give out one of these. Also, let's not forget, there could be potential outs, things like that. Maybe 2 years from now, the Commanders can cut Terry for, let's say, $7 or $8 million against the cap. And that would be a win in that situation if Terry's production has significantly fallen off and all of a sudden you're on the hook for $32 million. No, you're actually on the hook for $7 or $8 million. However this works out, there are still a multitude of ways. I'm looking right now on the timeline. I'm looking at different reporters. Nobody seems to know what the guarantees are. There's a $30 million signing bonus for Terry, according to Tom Pelissero, who is of the NFL Network, usually a very reputable guy. I would assume that to be true. Yeah, nobody's reporting the guarantees of the fully guaranteed money. I'm sure that's going to come out in the near future. But again, this is not only a big win for Terry, this is a big win for the team. We know the Commanders want to win the Super Bowl this season, and I've been very adamant in saying you can't overpay for Terry, but if he's not available, you have to recognize you are not winning the Super Bowl this year. Certainly not a guarantee. There are great teams in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles are the reigning Super Bowl champions. The Baltimore Ravens, I think, have the most talented roster in the NFL. Bills are a great team. Lions are a great team. Plenty of great teams out there. But with Terry, the Commanders are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. And Jayden Daniels also now a legitimate MVP candidate. Let's not let that fly under the radar. I'm not going to look up his odds, but as soon as I finish recording this, that's going to be one of the first places that I do jump over to. Let's see. The Commanders, let's run through their schedule now. Honestly, why not? Why not? Let's just take a look at their schedule, and let's do some very quick predictions. So we're going to read these all out. We got week 1 against the Giants. Chalk it up. That's a dub. We're not losing that one. At the Packers, dub. I'm not a Jordan Love guy. Las Vegas Raiders at home. Love Pete Carroll. Love Ashton Jetty. That's a dub. At the Falcons, dub. At the Chargers, you know what? I'm going to say we're 4-1. Maybe we're even 3-2 somewhere in there. I'll say we're 4-1 to start the season. Bears should be a win. The Cowboys, I hate to say it, but you're probably going to split with them at some point. At the Chiefs, that's tough. So we're looking at 5-3. Seahawks at home, that's a 6-3. Lions at home, maybe a 7-3, maybe a 6-4. I don't know. Dolphins, that's a win. Broncos, that's a win. So we're up to at the Vikings, that's a win. JJ McCarthy is not the guy. At the Giants is a win. So we're at 9 wins now. Eagles, let's say we split, that's 10 wins. And then I said the Cowboys were splitting, so that would be 11 wins. So I think I've got us down for about 11-6 right now. What do you guys think of that prediction? I know I already told you to go to the comments, leave me your reactions to the Terry stuff. What do you think? Is 11-6, is that too high? Is that too low? Am I getting caught up in the moment? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm being a little reactionary, or maybe I'm not high enough. Maybe Jayden Daniels is actually going to take this leap. We always love to talk about the second-year quarterbacks and their sophomore slumps. Why is Bo Nix going to have a great year? Why is Drake May going to have a great year? Why is Caleb Williams going to have a great year? But the best quarterback of them all, Jayden Daniels, why is he going to take a step back? because he was better than everybody expected him to be as a rookie. Now he's going to take a step back. You know, forget that. Maybe we're going 15-2 this season. How about that? Lamar Jackson had one of the best NFL seasons, or NFL quarterback seasons ever in his second season, was the unanimous MVP. Why can't Jayden Daniels do that? Jayden Daniels is better than Lamar Jackson as a rookie. I'm really starting to ramble here. Guys, I am pumped up about this deal. It's just so good to get the weight off the shoulders. And am I a little unnerved by the $32 million? Yes, but I'm also nowhere near as financially savvy as Adam Peters and the other people in this front office whose job it is to literally make these decisions. So if they have gone through all their calculations, and I trust this front office, I trust Adam Peters, I trust everybody that they have in positions of power over there, I trust Dan Quinn. So if they came to the decision that, look, we played the game, this is ultimately what we're settling at, this is the right thing to do, then I trust them. And as it stands right now, this new era, this new regime has had 1 year in charge. They ended the team's 30-year championship game less appearance streak. They ended it. You go from 4-13 to 12-5. The roster is upgraded. You got the franchise quarterback. With all these positive changes, we don't have a reason to doubt the front office yet. A lot of us were not expecting him to get this much money, but if they have decided this is the right move, then we have to trust them until we are proven wrong. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to head on out of here. Maybe I'm going to post again later today. I don't know. I'm going to have to see what the breakdown of the guarantees are. Let me do one final check before I get out of here just to make sure that nobody has reported it. Let me go to Spot Rack because I love what they have to do with this type of stuff. They were on it immediately. They had the 3 years 96 updated, but they didn't have any guarantees listed. And let me just see. Their page has been crashing because I'm sure they're getting flooded with so much traffic right now. I'll hop over to Twitter. I'm not calling it X. X is dumb. 1 million short of, nobody has the guarantees anywhere. And Spot Rack's not loading. It's probably crashed again. Okay, so yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just end this video right here. Again, go to the comment section. Give me one word what your reaction to this news is, and also any think pieces, feel free to put them down there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm coming out with daily content. I was going to say every day, but that's what the definition of daily is. I'm just really all over the place, as you can tell. Make sure you like this video. Like this video if you're excited to see the Commanders back in action, if you're excited to see Terry McLaurin back in action. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.